Good morning, CWTS students. In the previous lesson, I provided an example of project proposal that focuses on using drama in community engagement. That example is more on social sciences. I will provide the link in the description below. In this lesson, however, let's explore a project that focuses on environmental conservation. If you're ready, let's begin. In this example, let's explore the project design and evaluation of pedal-operated composter. This is published in the Innovative Technology and Management Journal by the Serra et al. You can find in this URL https colon // journal.php/index.php/org/itmj/journal/view/75. All right, moving on. Project profile. The title of the project is Design and Evaluation of Pedal-Operated Composter. Again, let's remind on this thematic area. I1 wanna read, this is for education students. Gardening for food security for students enrolled in agriculture and agriculture-related courses. Environmental conservation for greener future. These are for all courses except mentioned previously. So in this example, let's take, as I mentioned earlier, on environmental conservation for greener future. Okay, the proponent of this example is the Serra et al. 2019. In your case, the proponent will be your name. The site was in Visayas State University. In your project, it will be where you will conduct your study or your project. It was conducted January to May 2018. Okay, part 2. This is now the details of the project proposal. The rationale, it should state the background on the project and the significance of the project. Okay, so in the example earlier, the design and evaluation of composter, the author mentioned these things. Despite legal measures on solid waste management, example that is the Public Act 9003 or the Solid Ecological Management Act, despite this legal measure, solid waste management remains a challenge. There is still lack of material recovery facility which limits waste reduction at source. And for this reason, there should a need for an innovative technology. In this particular example, the authors they develop small-scale composter. Okay, sa description, it's necessary information on the project such as nature and description of the project site and beneficiary. So in this example, this was conducted here in the university. They mention about the role of composting in solid waste management. For biodegradable, with which is according to study, at least 80% of our waste is biodegradable. So composting is a good idea. So the project is intended to develop a small-scale composter. This is to help address the solid waste management. And then also the project, this is intended to evaluate the small-scale composter. So how to evaluate this? There are details. How to develop and how to evaluate will be detailed below. Now, the question maybe is like this: how to convert this project to community engagement? If you notice, the example here is more of a thesis, more of a project, personal. But since the nature of CWT is for this semester is community engagement, question is how to convert this project to community engagement. If you remember in our previous lesson, especially during the orientation, community engagement has to be participatory, meaning before the implementation, even in planning, the development and evaluation, our stakeholders should be part of this process from the start to the end. So in this case, in order that you will be able to convert a project like this into a community engagement, you have to engage your participant in planning, development, and evaluation. For example, let's say you are developing this in your barangay, determine the capacity of the composter because your composter has to suit for how much biodegradable waste is produced in that particular place. And so, with this volume of waste, you are going to develop a composter that can utilize that volume of waste. So, once you are able to plan and determine the capacity, allow them to help you develop the composter. Let's say, for example, that there might be materials available in that community. For example, since this involves welding, there might be somebody who knows how to weld, or maybe an welder, or maybe there are available scrap metals and other materials needed. Human resources, as mentioned earlier. Allow them to be a part in testing the composter, like recording the temperature, testing as to the sensory and physical analysis of the compost. So that is how you're going to convert a project like this into community engagement. The objective of the project was it aims to design and evaluate pedal-operated composter to produce suitable organic compost. So I highlighted here design and evaluate pedal-operated composter. So in order for this to be converted into community engagement, allow the community, your participant in the design and evaluation of the product. Moving on, methodology, how to create the pedal-operated composter. This section briefly describes how projects will be implemented. Okay, so here, materials needed in the composter. This include the main frame using angle bar, fellow block, PE drum, and the chain. I forgot to mention the use of welding welding machine. So, for your project like this, you need to include a diagram like this. This will provide the technical specification of your project. And then this will allow also your participants to see the perspective that you are going to prepare, or the perspective of the project. Okay, this is the actual photo of the pedal operated composter. I think this is simple and you can do it on your own, provided you have the skills and materials needed. Another section is preparation of materials. If you notice, In the methodology, first we mention about materials. Preparing the materials is the second part of methodology. You have to do this in order that it will provide a good procedure on how it will be done. Okay, so preparation of materials, purchase of materials from local hardware store, secure feedstocks, bran, and poultry manure from nursery. Dried leaves were also collected and spreaded. Determining the capacity. So the capacity of the drum was measured. First, filled with two-thirds full of dried leaves. Weigh it. We weigh it for the carrying capacity. The setup, since if you notice in the diagram earlier, two drums were prepared. So two set up in one barrel. The equation or the ratio is 1:1:1 for leaves, rice bran, and manure. The other barrel, 2:2:1. Okay, another section in the methodology is compost maintenance. Temperature check was done every 2 days. The composter was rotated 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon at 6 revolutions per minute. The pile composting was also maintained. It was set at the range of 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. A little information about pile composting. Active, what do you call this? Active microorganism activity is maximum at this range, 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Data collection, compost and ambient temperature was measured using glass thermometer. Sensory and physical analysis was conducted. This will determine the maturity of the compost. This will tell us if we have followed the standards for mature compost. In this section, this is activity schedule. So you have to prepare something like this. Activity 1, development of composter. Activity 2, evaluation. You need to specify how much time devoted for each activity. So in this case, actually, this was 5 months. In your case, since we will do it in 4 weeks' time, so it might look like this. So that depends on your need. Next, monitoring and evaluation. This is to ensure that the project objectives are attained. So in this project, the monitoring was done like this. The temperature was monitored. We monitored the compost and ambient temperature. The temperature inside the in-vessel, the PE drums, and also the temperature outside the setup. Another way of monitoring is determine compost maturity. Compost maturity can be done through sensory, physical, chemical, and phytotoxicity tests. However, in the project, the authors use sensory and physical analysis. This was also within the Philippine National Standards of Organic Compost. If we do have much time, I think we can do chemical analysis as well. But nonetheless, sensory and physical tests are also good indicator of mature compost. That is according to the National Standard of Organic Compost. In your case, if you are doing project like this, you need a good standard as basis of your project. It has to be suitable for your project. Like the project here is to create compost, so we look at the standard, the Philippine standard on organic compost, so that our product is within the acceptable level of organic compost. Budget plan, more or less it's something like this. The pillow block, angle bar, welding rod, the labor cost is estimated around 2,000 pesos. I think I missed some materials here. What are expected output? The composter itself, and then it should be able to contribute to solid waste management. In this section, target beneficiaries, you have to indicate who are the clientele and what are expected outcome or effects of the use of the project outputs. That depends on what is your project. In the article, this was designed for villagers and most families involved in small-scale agriculture. So references, this was the source, the Serra et al. Design and evaluation of pedal-operated composter, published in Innovative Technology and Management Journal, Volume 2, Issue 1. You can get this from this URL. I hope we are able to help you in writing your proposal, and you can design better project for environmental conservation initiatives. If you have question, you can comment in the section. You can also reach us through our VSU e-learning environment. You can PM or you can email to us. Thank you and good luck.